Presented by Listen Headlines, latest world news from trusted sources.
Washington Post World, October 13, 12:30 America, New York. Court rejects fired physicist's intellectual freedom claim. Australia's High Court has dismissed an intellectual freedom claim by a university physicist who was fired in part over his public statements that scientists exaggerated damage to the Great Barrier Reef caused by climate change. Washington Post World, October 13, 12:01 America, New York. Biden carries forward a Trump-era Middle East policy. For all their many objections to Trump's broader agenda, Biden officials appear somewhat keen on building upon the Abraham Accords. Washington Post World, October 13, 12:01 America, New York. Pamela could be hurricane again as it makes Mexico landfall. Tropical storm Pamela is picking up forward momentum in the Pacific off Mexico, and forecasters say it should be back to hurricane strength again before striking the coast north of the port of Mazatlan on Wednesday morning. Washington Post World, October 13, 7:16 America, New York. Neo-Nazis' burial in Jewish gravesite causes stir in Germany. The burial of a Holocaust denier in the gravesite of a Jewish music professor has caused an uproar in Germany. RT World News, October 13, 7:14 America, New York. Beijing urges Delhi to stop doing things that undermine mutual trust and relations after Indian VP's visit to disputed region. The Chinese Foreign Ministry has registered its concern after Indian Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu visited Arunachal Pradesh province, which Beijing doesn't recognize as part of India, calling on Delhi not to upset the peace. RT World News, October 13, 7:14 America, New York. Spain evacuates 160 more Afghans in repatriation mission as it aims to rescue all former collaborators at risk. Madrid has evacuated a further 160 Afghans that were left behind after August's hasty evacuations from Kabul following the Taliban's takeover. Spain's defense ministry said the evacuation took place via Pakistan.
Mirror World News, October 13, 7:11 America, New York. Tragic toll of Cadbury and Cathedral City on rainforests exposed as Amazon destroyed. UK farms supplying milk and dairy products for Cathedral City Cheddar, Anchor Butter and Cadbury Chocolate feed their cattle soy from a controversial agribusiness accused of widespread deforestation in Brazil. Mirror World News, October 13, 7:10 America, New York. Snapchat down as thousands of users report app is offline globally. We'll be bringing you the very latest updates, pictures and video on this breaking news story. Mirror World News, October 13, 7 o'clock America, New York. Boy, 4, suffers horror burns in explosion, caused by dad furious wife was divorcing him. Warning. Graphic images upon separating from her husband, Edie Devletova told police that he had made threats to kill or hurt their son and that she had also suffered repeated abuse.
Time, October 13, 7 o'clock America, New York. How an online pharmacy sold millions worth of dubious COVID-19 drugs, while patients paid the price. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, the network of pharmacies run by businessmen Alpesh and Manish Patel was struggling. At least 15 of its 82 pharmacies had been shuttered or sold amid mounting debts and mismanagement. Time, October 13, 7 o'clock America, New York. He was shot by a stranger but treated like a criminal when he reached the ER. When Greg Jackson Jr. thinks about the night he was shot, the most painful part of the memory isn't that he almost died. It's not the 6 surgeries he underwent, the half-year bedridden, or the image of his younger cousin using a shirt as a tourniquet to save his life. Time, October 13, 7 o'clock America, New York. Why a one-size-fits-all approach to breast cancer prevention can leave women vulnerable. When Heather Mann learned she had breast cancer, it was a complete surprise. I had never thought that I was at high risk for breast cancer, the 49-year-old says.
October 13, 7 o'clock America, New York. Sense of urgency grips the White House with Biden facing crises on many fronts. 9 months into Joe Biden's presidency, a White House suddenly beset on all sides feels a growing sense of urgency.
Time, October 13, 6:59 America, New York. Why literally millions of Americans are quitting their jobs. If April 2020 was the month of pink slips, as the rapid spread of COVID-19 resulted in the loss of 20.5 million jobs, then fall 2021 is the dawn of their revenge.
Washington Post World, October 13, 6:56 America New York. Netflix hit, Squid Game, is so big North Korea is using it to slam South Korean society. Netflix announced that, Squid Game, is its most watched series in history. Washington Post World, October 13, 6:50 America New York. China says power cuts won't hit homes in winter, amid crunch. Chinese officials say the country's electricity supplies will be high enough to heat homes throughout the country's north in the winter, amid a nationwide energy crunch that has seen power cuts in some areas.
BBC News World, October 13, 6:39 America New York. Vaping. FDA approves e-cigarette brand in U.S. for first time. The drug regulator says the benefits of adult smokers switching to the product outweigh the risks. Mirror World News, October 13, 6:39 America New York. Turkish woman, 24, who is more than 7 feet tall named tallest woman in the world. Rumeysa Gelci is an impressive 7 feet 0.7 inches tall and was first awarded the title for the tallest female teenager back in 2014, when she was aged 18.
October 13, 6:33 America New York. Energy crisis is a wake-up call for Europe to ditch fossil fuels. Soaring energy prices are a stark reminder of how dependent Europe is on fossil fuels and should serve to accelerate the shift towards renewable forms of energy.
New York Times World News, October 13, 6:33 America New York. Virginia's close race. We look at how the state's governor's race offers a preview of the midterms. Republican Glenn Youngkin in Winchester, VA. Washington Post World, October 13, 6:27 America New York. Hezbollah accuses U.S. of meddling in Lebanon's port probe. Hezbollah has accused the U.S. of interfering in Lebanon's investigation into last year's massive explosion at the Beirut port, with the aim of implicating the militant group and its allies.
October 13, 6:22 America New York. Beanie Feldstein talks about playing and meeting Monica Lewinsky. Beanie Feldstein, who is playing Monica Lewinsky in the impeachment American Crime Story, speaks with CNN's Christiane Amanpour about why she took the role and meeting Lewinsky in real life.